Hello, everyone. Welcome to How to Protect Your Business Brand and Valuation Using Trademarks without conducting exhaustive research or navigating the confusing process yourself. Today's webinar is packed with valuable information that will help you. My name is Xavier Haley, and I will be your speaker today. As to my background, I'm licensed to practice law in multiple jurisdictions, and I am also a registered patent attorney. I practice law in the areas of trademarks and patents. Before diving into the webinar today, I have a few disclaimers to disclose. The content of this presentation is for educational purposes only. No part of this presentation constitutes legal advice, and no attorney-client relationship is established by viewing this presentation. So since we have that out of the way, so let's dive in. Who this presentation is for? It's for small business entrepreneurs, small business owners, and all those who are interested in protecting their brand and improving their understanding of trademarks. Starting and running a business is a complicated process. As entrepreneurs and business owners, or a person looking to start a business, you may have these following questions. How can I protect my brand name? Does anyone else use my name or logo? Is there an affordable way to protect my brand? These questions will be answered and many more later on. So let's start. What is a trademark? A trademark is a word, phrase, symbol, and/or design that identifies and distinguishes the source of the goods and services from one party from those of others. In other words, a trademark tells you that the product or service that you're looking at came from a particular company. Here are a few well-known examples of trademarks, which many of you are probably already consuming their products or using their services. Also, another function of a trademark is to allow a business to establish credibility and trust with the consumer, such that the consumer knows what to expect when they purchase a product or service from a company under that specific mark. So the question is, why should you trademark now? The first reason to trademark now is to protect against increasing competition. You don't want to spend enormous amount of time and money building a brand only that consumers trust, only to have a competition copy the product or services and have an inferior product under that brand, thus destroying your brand and the goodwill that you have built with your business, all because you didn't take the necessary steps to protect your brand, which could have easily been avoided. So why you trademark now is to identify red flags for your brand as early as possible. So you don't want somebody to come and take your domain website if you don't file first. Do you know that every 60 seconds, a new trademark is filed in the US? As you see, trademarks is on the rise. From year 2017 to 2018, many people are filing trademark applications. Also, you can see that new registrations are also on the rise. You see from 2017 to 2019, people are getting registered trademarks. And another thing most people are not aware of is that new businesses are steady increasing year after year, as you can see from the chart right here. So that's one of the reasons why, because of decreasing competition. So another reason why you should trademark now is to protect your marketing dollars. The reason why you should protect your marketing dollars, because the small business costs on average about $30,000 per year. Another reason is you risk flushing money down the drain by not protecting your marketing dollars, by not investing in protecting your brand. Consider the huge loss if you was forced to change your brand. Like, for example, you don't want to be like Susan. Susan was a person who started a business in state A. Before starting her business, she searched Google to see if there were any other business that was using her business name and didn't find any results. She quickly made business cards, purchased a domain, set up advertisement, created a website and social media accounts. After operating her business for about 6 months and spending about $35,000 in startup and marketing expenses, people started to recognize her business. Then the unexpected happened. She received a letter threatening legal action, trademark infringement, saying that her business is similar to a person's business from state B. This business in state B has been operating for 10 years before Susan started operating her business and had already had a federally registered trademark. As a result, Susan has to give her name and spend additional $35,000 in marketing material. If she had protected her brand name at the beginning, she would not have lost money and she would not have to had to start all over. So the third reason on why you should trademark now is to increase the value of your business in the consumer mind. Did you know when you have a registered trademark, you have a valuable asset that never expires, and that can be used to attract investors and partnerships, or it can be used as collateral to secure finance. Your trademark is also an effective communication tool for marketing that allows you to build trust and give a professional feel and look with consumers. You not only improve the valuation of your company in the consumer mind, but you also in the mind of investors if you are raising capital for your business. A registered trademark also allows you to franchise your business, such as McDonald's, Starbucks. In addition to that, it also allows you to license your trademark and receive royalties, like for example with the singer Rihanna with Fenty Beauty, which is a cosmetic beauty line. So what do you guys think about Apple's product? When you think of Apple, you probably think of reliability, quality, simple, stylish. Apple has built credibility and trust in the consumer mind using this trademark. Its companies right now is valued over $1 trillion, and the trademark has a value of $150 billion. Apple trademark value is based on its amazing credibility and trust that it has established with the consumer mind. Because this established trust, Apple is able to receive enormous amount of pre-orders, for example, for the iPhones, before it even launches its product. Just like Apple, the value of trademark increase based on the credibility and trust you establish with consumers through your marketing. The more credibility and trust you establish in the marketplace, the more valuable your trademark becomes. As your trademark becomes a more valuable asset, this opens up the doors for attracting financing, investors, and strategic partners, which can propel your business forward. So to recap of why you should trademark now, you want to trademark now because it protects against increasing competition, because you want to make sure that nobody's stepping in the marketplace and stealing your idea. Another reason to trademark now is because you want to protect against your marketing dollars. By doing that, protecting your market dollars, you protect all the expenses that you put into your business. A third reason is to increase the value of the business in your consumer minds. Consider the future now. So what you will learn today is how to protect your most valuable asset, your brand. We will go through a walkthrough of our trademark process, which is unique to KISSPatent. In addition to that, we will show you a simple, affordable, and supportive process for filing your trademark and how you can have it done for you. Before I jump into what we're going to do today, let's explain who is KISSPatent. We help entrepreneurs and small business owners protect their ideas and brands with trademarks and patents. Our process is simple, affordable, and completely hands-off. No confusing research or heavy lifting is done by you. We have worked with hundreds of companies in over 50 different industries to successfully protect their brand and add value to their business. With us, you get the tools, planning, and mentorship you need to make sure that your brand is protected right the first time. By protecting your brand, it shouldn't be a complicated, expensive, and confusing process. So we make sure that we work hard to fight against this. Our process is simply exclusively tailored for entrepreneurs looking for strategic guidance to monetize ideas, for transparent, affordable, and fixed prices on trademarks and patent services. And we provide 100% support from experts throughout the branding process. You may be having these thoughts. I don't have enough money right now. So you're leaving yourself vulnerable to problems that can cost you even more and risk losing value to your business. I don't understand the process. That's why companies are here like us. We walk you step by step through the process so you have a better understanding of the process and have a complete overview. And we're the one that's actually monitoring the process and doing the heavy lifting for you. So you don't have to worry about that. Another thought you may be having is that my business is not ready. Brand protection is the foundation of business strategy. Business is a way to file risk being kicked out of the marketplace. And because establishing a foothold in the marketplace is extremely important. It's pretty much the lifeblood of a business. If you're not credible in the marketplace, your business is not going to survive. Other people also have this, you may be having this thought, I could just do this myself. Over 50 businesses who find themselves fail to obtain protection or end up hiring professional help. In my recommendation, I do not recommend people to file trademarks themselves because it is a complicated process. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can easily make a mistake and fall into a pitfall that you cannot get out of it and potentially lose your application. So why is this dangerous? As I was just mentioning, there are many important details that can be easily overlooked. And if you overlook these details, such as not having a proper owner, not having the right description, or not finding your trademark is similar to somebody else's trademark, there's a high risk that you will get your trademark application be rejected. And if it get rejected, there's a chance you may not actually receive a registered trademark. So another reason is that you risk losing the valuable time and money because the trademark process can take anywhere between 18 months to 14 months to register trademark on a federal level. So after I just explained to you the reason why you should trademark yourself, let's look at our process regarding trademark. We start out the process with the brand protection audit. Then the next step is the preparation and filing. These parts right here is very unique to our business because with the brand protection audit, we actually look at your business to make sure we understand exactly what you're doing so we can provide you the best protection. And we move into the next section, which is the monitoring response, which we discuss, where we make sure that your application is on track. Then after that is the trademark protection plan. This is after you get a registered trademark. How do you go by protecting your trademark and make sure that no one's infringing your trademark and make sure that you're able to keep your trademark? So let's start with the brand protection audit. The brand protection audit is a comprehensive evaluation of your business. This is unique to us because, like I said, we look at your entire business strategy. We analyze your business and trademark information, such as what are you selling? Who do you sell to? When and where? We also conduct a thorough trademark search. This allows you to see what space your competition is operating in. And we evaluate your trademark for common issues that can prevent you from receiving a registered trademark. Common issues be like merely descriptive, or it may be like likelihood of confusion. Because the last thing you want to do is to file a trademark application and not get a registered trademark. So we evaluate the results to make sure that, hey, there's a high chance your trademark will be registered. So step one, the brand protection audit. As I mentioned, this is the work that's done before filing the application. Why do we like to do this work ahead of time? Because it helps you get clarity on how to effectively use your trademark. It helps identify potential issues and risks with using your trademark. Helps obtain the proper scope of protection. So without doing this work ahead of time, imagine what would happen if this wasn't done. Here's a case study of a client that did not have this work done, did not have their business evaluated. The client used another attorney and registered trademark who did not fully evaluate the client's business. So like who's the client is selling to in terms of the goods and services the client is selling right now or plan to sell in the future. As a result, after the client successfully got a registered trademark and it was time to renew the trademark, they was not able to renew the trademark because there was issues with the wrong services. So the client may have services, for example, clothing, let's say hats, shoes, and they wanted to move, but they were selling bracelets, which was not in their application originally filed. So as a result, they was not able to renew the application, renew their trademark, and they lost their trademark. The second step is preparation and filing. So we prepare your application by reviewing your trademark drawings, drafting the appropriate language describing the goods and services, checking the draft language against language of recently registered trademarks. This is unique to us and extremely important because you want to make sure that when the application is filed, that you will receive a registered trademark. The second step is you review the trademark application and receive your approval. After that, we file your trademark application. Now, monitoring response. Monitoring response, as I mentioned earlier, is all about making sure that everything is okay going on with your trademark. During the monitoring response, this occurs after the application is filed, but before registration. We monitor the application status and notify you of upcoming deadlines. We respond to office actions. What office action is a letter stating there's an issue with your trademark application. The reason why we do the monitoring and response is because we want to make sure that we stay on track what's happening with your application. And if there's any issues, we let you know what's going on. And we tell you like this is the best strategy to move forward to overcome these issues. So why is this important? Because you must reply properly and appropriately, because if you don't respond within a certain period of time, you will lose your application. And also, this avoid wasting time and money to revive applications if it's lost or having to start the whole trademark process all over again. As I mentioned, failure to respond can result in cancellation of your application. So if your application is canceled, if you want to revive the application, you have to pay additional fees to revive it, which can be expensive. And the United States Patent and Trademark Office do not extend filing deadlines and do not issue any refunds. Here's another example of a client who failed to the monitoring response aspect. The client filed their own trademark application without professional help. The client received a refusal letter, which is an office action, and failed to respond within that time period. Because the client did not respond within that time period, the client application was canceled. And after the application was canceled, the client had to actually the client decided to revive the application, so it had to spend additional money to revive the application and pay money for us to handle the application. So the client lost time and money, which is a big no-no in business. So my question to you, can you see why you need a trademark? Can you see why you shouldn't go by filing yourself? Can you see why you need to strategize with a professional? The last part of our process is the trademark protection plan. So this is after you get a registered trademark, what happens? So this occurs, like I just mentioned, after you register your trademark successfully. So we keep track of deadlines as they approach and let you know, hey, you need to renew your trademark and work with you on what needs to be done in order to renew that trademark. In addition to that, we provide suggestions and strategies on how to protect your trademark rights. Why this is important? This is important because you want to make sure you enforce your intellectual property rights. Because once you have a trademark, it's up to you to police your rights. If you fail to police your trademark rights, somebody can infringe on your trademark rights and you won't have a trademark anymore. So in essence, they can steal the goodwill that you established with your business. That's the reason why we actually monitor for potential infringing marks also, to make sure if somebody's infringing your trademark, we catch it ahead of time and we can stop them. So we also keep track of deadlines. So if you were to miss a deadline, it'd be costly. So we make sure that we let you know what deadlines are coming up so you won't miss those deadlines. So we also work with developing a commercial strategy, like a useful way to monitor what your competitors are doing, how to early detect what your competitions are doing as they enter into new marketplaces that may affect your business. So moving on to the following protection plan. So here's another example. A company registered its trademark. And the company failed to track or hire a service to track the trademark renewal deadlines. As a result, he did not renew their registered trademark in time, and the deadline passed, resulting in the cancellation of the trademark. So all the time and money that they put into getting that trademark, let's say it took them a year to have a trademark register, and because when the renewal period came around, let's say 5 years later, they spent all this money in marketing. They lost all this time and money into what they put into their business. So the registered trademark was canceled. And that actually opened up to a huge risk for somebody to actually step in and use the goodwill of their business similar to theirs. So just to recap the overview of the trademark process, The brand protection audit is very unique to us because we look at what you're doing with your business to get a big picture to understand what you're doing and what you plan to do in the future. So we make sure that we have everything in the application. So you don't have to deal with the fact that, hey, you filed an application, you got a registered trademark, but the trademark that you have doesn't cover the new goods and services that you're doing now. The preparation and filing, we go through the application and make sure that everything is okay and is filed according to what's the standards at the United States Patent Trademark Office. The next thing is the monitoring response. We want to make sure that all the deadlines are met, and if there's any issues, we can take care of that. That's not even an issue. Now, after you get a registered trademark, that's where you have to deal with the trademark protection plan. During that point, we make sure that, hey, these are the upcoming deadlines for your trademark. We monitor what happening with your competitors to make sure that nobody's infringing on your trademark. So what we have covered so far is that you need to file fast, because every 60 seconds, a new trademark application is being filed because the increase of competition, as you saw earlier, the increase of new business being started. As a result, new businesses are filing trademark application, which is increasing in trademark registrations. We also discuss our unique brand protection audit, which is going through your business to understand how you actually using your goods and services, who you're selling to, what you plan to do in the future, so we get a holistic picture of what you're doing with your business surrounding your brand. So we make sure that aspect is protected. So, and also how to protect your brand effectively and affordably. We also help strategize on monitoring your trademark application after you register. So make sure that everything is okay. So as you guys just see, the first step, if you want to get started, is to get your complimentary brand protection audit. That can be done by going to KISSPatent.com/audit. So the reason why you want to get your brand protection audit, because as I was mentioned earlier, we evaluate what you're doing with your business and give you an understanding of how this fits in with protecting your brand. For example, if you have, say, Peter's Pizza, you want to make sure, like, hey, you're selling pizza, like, okay, that may not be protected because it's too descriptive. But if you have something like Peter Pizza and you're selling silver, like silver bracelets, then like, okay, that could be protected, and we could look at, okay, these are the things that people are doing out in the marketplace. So with the brand protection audit, as I mentioned, we analyze your business objectives to avoid pitfalls in the trademark process. So pitfalls would be, hey, what you have cannot receive trademark protection, or your brand right there, yes, can receive trademark protection. We identify all the goods and services that you have or plan to have in the future, so your trademark can be protected, and we make sure that all those goods and services that you plan to sell in the future are protected. In addition to that, we conduct a comprehensive search so we get a full picture of the potential issues that can prevent registration of your trademark. So to get your brand protection audit, please visit KISSPatent.com/audit. So let's discuss the importance of brand protection. So in this example, this person actually, this client worked with us. So it was a startup company where the client actually was in the process of starting up a tech business. That client, we prepared the application. We went through the whole brand protection audit, so we knew exactly what goods and services that the client was selling and planned to sell. So we captured everything in the application. During the preparation of filing, we looked at the goods and services drafted language. In addition to that, we compared the language to what was already filed in recently registered trademarks. So after the application was filed, we received a refusal, an office action from the trademark office saying that, hey, the language that you use is indefinite or unclear, and that this needs to be clarified. So once we received that, jumped on a call with the trademark office and told them, like, hey, look, you have already allowed registered trademarks under this. So this language is not clear, it's not indefinite. Therefore, you should allow this to register. So after pointing the evidence to the trademark office agreed with us and said, hey, this is right. So we're going to allow this trademark to go through. And the end result, the trademark register for the client. So that's the importance of doing the brand protection, because you can avoid those issues that may come up. And if those issues do come up, we can address them very quickly. So also included, if you were to sign up right now by visiting KISSPatent.com/audit, you get a full year of trademark monitoring. With that full year, what is included? We keep an eye on your trademark so you can focus on your business. As business owners and entrepreneurs, that's the main important thing. You should be focused on your business and not worrying about other things that other people can handle. So this right here helps prevent the competitor from coming in and knocking off what you have established or in the process of establishing in terms of your brand. In addition to that, you get to know what your competition is up to in terms of how they're positioned in the marketplace under certain marks, is that trademark is similar to your trademark. So this allows you to get peace of mind and keep an eye on things, what's happening in the marketplace. Typically, this costs around $175 to $1,000 per year, but it's yours free. And this is included if you book a call now and file a trademark with us. So to book a call, file a trademark with us, visit KISSPatent.com/audit. As I mentioned, who is this for? This is for entrepreneurs, small business owners, and anyone interested in protecting their brand using trademarks. So get your brand protection audit now. The reason why, because like I mentioned, we consider your business as a whole. We look just beyond getting you a trademark. We look at the holistic aspect of your business. We dive into all the goods and services that you have and plan to have so they can be protected under your trademark. We conduct a comprehensive search to make sure that we have a broad overview of what's going on in the marketplace and how that affects your trademark. So you can get your brand protection audit at KISSPatent.com/audit. As I mentioned, book your brand protection audit now. So I'm actually going to open it up to questions and answers if you guys have any questions. So if you guys have any questions, you could put it in the chat box or into the questions and answers. So as I wait for questions and answers to come in, here are some questions that people have asked me many times. How long does it take to receive a registered trademark? Typically, it's about 8 to 14 months to receive a registered trademark from the date of filing. I know it's a long time, it appears to be a long time, but it's worth it because you actually build value with your trademark. Another question that I get from people is, can I apply for a trademark registration if I haven't used the trademark? My answer is yes. You can apply for a trademark registration if you haven't started using your trademark by filing something called an intent to use application. Some people may know it as a 1B application. In order to file that type of application, you have to have a bona fide intent that you will actually use the trademark. So before you can get a registered trademark, you will have to show that you're actually using the trademark. Let me check to see if there's any questions. So I see a question that just came in. My business is not up and running, but I have a logo and a brand name ready to do all work with entrepreneurs in the situation. Well, my business is up and not running, but I have a logo and a brand name ready to do all work with entrepreneurs in this situation. The question is, do I work with all entrepreneurs? Yes, because a trademark has the same exact stuff than most trademarks. The difference comes in if, like, for example, if you are in a technology space such as artificial intelligence, blockchain. So because I am a patent attorney and I actually work in that space drafting patent applications on blockchain and artificial intelligence, I'm able to understand your technology. So as a result, I'm able to draft a description that reflects what goods and services you're actually providing. So I hope that answers you guys' questions. Are there any more other questions? As I wait for more questions to come in, Here's a question I also get asked often. Why should I use a company like LegalZoom? Why shouldn't I use a company like LegalZoom to register my trademark? You can use LegalZoom, but only if you know what you're doing. LegalZoom is geared towards people who are do-it-yourselfs. But from my point of view, I highly recommend not doing it yourself because the trademark process is filled with a lot of pitfalls that if you don't know what you're doing, you can easily get tripped up and can result in your application being canceled. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of people who have filed applications by themselves, and 50% of them, they don't get a registered trademark. So I see another question just came in. She's wondering if we can help people in their business not yet up and running. So the question is, if the person's wondering if we can help people in their business that's not yet up and running, yes, we can. As I was mentioned, you don't have to have a register, but you don't have to be using your trademark right now. If you have an intent that you will use your trademark, let's say within the next year period from the date of filing, then you can file something called an intent to use application, or 1B. So about time when it comes to showing evidence you're actually using the trademark, you would be using your trademark, and we could submit that evidence and say, hey, this is how the trademark is being used. So if you know exactly what goods and know exactly what the business is going to be doing, what's the flagship product or services, then I say go ahead and file a trademark. So you don't have to wait. But if you don't, then it makes sense to make sure you have clarification on what you plan to do. I see another question just came in. If I get a trademark and then decide to change to update my logo, do I have to file another application? That is a really good question. So when the application is filed, you cannot change it. Only thing you can do with once you file an application, you can clarify or remove stuff from the application. Like for example, if you have a specific drawing logo that you file, and let's say you claim a color, then during the process, like, hey, I want to change the color of my logo. You cannot do that without filing another application. In that instance, I actually would not recommend filing color to clients. I would actually recommend that you do not claim color. The reason why, because you want to have the flexibility of changing the color of your logo in the future if you decide to go with a different branding strategy or different color scheme in your marketing material. So let me check to see if there's any additional questions that's coming in. I don't see, you guys have any more additional questions? So another question that I get asked often. So the reason why I don't recommend people filing trademarks application on their own, if they run into something called, regarding the office action, something called likelihood confusion. So take a step back. The trademark process is an actual legal process. So it's a legal proceeding. Like if you were to like drafting a contract, or you were to go to court for probate for estate planning purposes. So it's a legal proceeding. And the people who are reviewing the trademark applications are actually licensed attorneys. So they are trained to look at the law. Now imagine that you file an application on your own, then you get this something called office action. You read over it. That might look like the most scariest thing you ever seen. And let's say the office action is dealing with something called likelihood confusion. So I have drafted many responses to that likelihood confusion and written like 15 pages of text, and have had the entire response to be up to about 100 pages. So if you're not prepared with making certain legal arguments, you really don't want to file yourself. I say hire somebody to take care of it. Here's another question that just came in. If I get a trademark and then decide to, sorry, that's the same question. The second part, during the renewal period, do I have to provide any samples of how long my trademark is being used in commerce? So after you register your trademark, and after you get a registered trademark, within the 5th and 6th year, you actually have to renew your trademark. During that time period, you have to provide evidence of how you're using your trademark. So for example, a photographic evidence of, let's say you have, let's use KISSPatent, for example. So you have KISSPatent on some type of software. You have to provide evidence of how that's being used. It might be a picture of the website describing the services being provided or on a product. After the 5th and 6th year, you have to renew the trademark application between the 9th and 10th year. Then after the 9th and 10th year, then it's every 10 years. So that's the reason why I said the trademark doesn't expire, it goes on indefinitely. Here's another question just came in. Can I use my trademark logo in another country? So that is a very good question. Can I use my US trademark logo in another country? The answer is no. So your US trademark is based on where you register your trademarks, because each country has geographical, they have laws pertaining to their own trademarks. So if you register a trademark in the US, you have a US registered trademark, you cannot use it in Canada, you cannot use it in Israel, you cannot use it other places. And that's vice versa with other countries. So if you register a trademark, let's say in Europe, that trademark, you don't have the rights that you have in Europe and the United States. So you have to register in the United States. But one good thing about actually registering a trademark with a federal is that once the trademark is registered on a federal level, you can actually claim something called priority to US registered trademark when you file in other countries. And you can actually claim priority beforehand. What is priority? Is you get the same filing date, because everything is based off of when you file. Having the filing date makes it is very important, because if another application comes in, if another application is filed before you actually file your application, that previous file application can actually block you from receiving a registered trademark. So by having that date in line when you file another country, if other trademarks comes in after you file, it won't be blocking you. So that was the whole purpose of that. I just see another question that came in. How long is the trademark process? The trademark process takes about 8 to 14 months from the date of filing. So let's say you were to file an application today. So in the next 8 to 14 months, that's when you should receive a registered trademark. They could take longer if there's issues with the trademark, but typically it's about 8 to 14 months. So do I see any more of the questions? I see, can I use my trademark in another country? Just answer that. Can KISSPatent file a trademark application in another country for me? So KISSPatent actually hires an attorney to file the trademark application. So let me repeat back the question. Can KISSPatent file another trademark application in another country? So KISSPatent hires attorneys to file applications on your behalf. Like, for example, I work closely with KISSPatent. I'm a licensed attorney and practice, like I mentioned, trademarks and patents. I'm licensed in New York, New Jersey, and Illinois. So as a US licensed attorney, I'm able to file trademark applications in the United States. However, if a client wants to file a trademark application in Europe, I cannot file a trademark application in Europe. Only person that can file a trademark application in Europe is the person's licensed in Europe to file. So we work closely with European partners for filing trademark application in Europe, and we have partners across the globe. So if you want to file in Canada, we could file in Canada. If you want to file in India, you can file in India. So we work with a lot of people throughout the globe. I see another question just came in. While you're in the 8 to 14 months time frame waiting to be registered, can you still use your trademark? The answer is yes. And please go ahead and use your trademark. So the main thing is that when you're using your trademark, if you do not have a registered trademark, do not use that registration symbol, the circle R, because that would be considered committing fraud on the trademark office, which can cause you not to receive a trademark. So in that case, you could use something in the United States. You could use something called TM, which is something called the common law trademark symbol, or SM. So TM is for products or goods. SM is for service marks. So the next question I see, if I find my trademark logo being used in another country, what can I do? So if your trademark is being used in another country, that depends on that country's trademark laws. So if you have a registered trademark in that country and somebody is using your trademark in that particular country, then you should be able to bring a trademark infringement suit. But I cannot really discuss laws in other countries. But in the United States, I can actually discuss that. In the United States, if somebody's using your trademark logo in this country, this comes down to whether or not you have a registered trademark or you have an unregistered trademark. If you have an unregistered trademark, which you can have by actually using your trademarks in commerce without applying for federal registration, it would be much more difficult to actually bring a trademark infringement case. But if you have a registered trademark, then it's much easier to bring a trademark infringement case against the person that's infringing your trademark. And you have much stronger rights, and you can actually bring it in the federal court. I see a question that just came in. Can you give an example of service marks? So when you think of service marks, think of a service that you provide to a person. So it's not like a service mark is something that you have to, not a service mark, but a service is something is that you have to consume where you are. An example of a service mark would be if you have a computer software, everything. For example, Zoom. It's a computer software where people are using. So it's a service that's being provided at that particular point. Another example of a service mark would be, just give me a second, I'm trying to think of other services. In the financial industry, where you have people that's providing, that's not a really good example. So I'm gonna have to think about that and come back to that question. Let me see if there's any more additional questions. I don't see any additional questions. So, oh, thank you. Somebody said it was interesting in a nice presentation. So, as I mentioned earlier, you guys definitely take advantage of this brand protection audit, because the trademark process can be crazy and confusing, and we are definitely there to help. So if you go to KISSPatent.com/audit, we can guide you through the steps like, okay, this is what you need to do. Okay, if you think about doing this, that may not be good. It's best to do this. So I see a question that came in. Is the audit free? So yes, it is at the moment. So this is complimentary for those attending the webinar. So it'll be a conversation call where we discuss what your plans are and so forth. So we get a better understanding of what you're planning to do. So the answer to the question is the audit free, yes. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone that said this is very informative. If do you guys have any more questions? So going back to the service mark, example of a service mark is, it might be a restaurant. So let's say you have an upscale restaurant where you have people in the restaurant, you're selling food to them. So that is a service that you provide to individuals. How to be a service mark versus as compared to, let's say you creating food that you put into a grocery store. In that grocery store, people buy, let's say, the frozen food that will fall on the goods. So how to differentiate between the two? A product is something that you can actually kind of take with you. You could go to a different location. A service is something like you have to consume while you're there. That's how I look at the two. I just saw somebody's put in um, like like a Hooters type of restaurant as an example, or airlines as a service mark. Yes, I agree exactly with that. A question. So I provide consulting and counseling services. Do I need a service mark for that? So service. So the difference between the TM and SM. So SM is service mark, TM trademark. These are unregistered marks. So if you start using your trademark in commerce, so you start selling your goods or you start providing services, you develop a service mark that way. So when people start to identify, hey, this is actually belongs um, to this one company, because I was mentioning earlier, it's a source identifier. And say, when I see this logo, I know it came from this company. So that's the reason for the service mark. Okay. Now, if you register your trademark by filing on the federal level, then you can use the registration, the circle R. And to investors and to partners, that looks much, much better than having an SM or TM. Because let's say you took the extra step to invest in your business, you're very serious about your business, which may not be accurate, but that's how people view it. So let me check, are there any additional questions? I see one that just came in. Would a lawyer's logo be a service mark? The answer to that question, that depends on what the lawyer is doing. So if the lawyer is providing legal services, then yes, that would be a service mark. But if the lawyer is providing like a product, such as uh, a boot camp on how to file your trademarks from A to Z, it's a physical product that the person actually can actually read and stuff like that, that would not fall on the service mark. That would be a trademark. But once you register a trademark, people don't really care about service mark or TM or SM, because it's all lumped under the same thing with a registered trademark. Let me check to see if there's any more additional questions. If you guys have any additional questions, I'm hearing to you guys don't have any more questions. So as I mentioned, if you want to get your brand protection audit, go to KISSPatent.com/audit, and you can get started today. So I don't see any additional questions coming in. Since I don't see additional questions coming in, I am about to wrap this up unless you guys have any final questions. Okay. I don't see additional questions. So I'd like to thank you guys for taking time out of your schedule, doing this crazy, crazy time what's going on in the world. And thank you for investing time into understanding how to grow your business, because being an entrepreneur and business owners is not the easiest path. Trust me, I know. And I work with a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs. So this is just the first step and many steps that you are taking in order to build a successful business. So, and with that, I look forward to speaking to you guys. So as I mentioned, take advantage of the brand protection audit by visiting kisspatent.com/audit. So since there are no additional questions, it's been a pleasure, and I will speak to you guys soon.